Rare Jefferson nickels worth big money. Welcome. Today, we're going to explore some of the most valuable Jefferson 5-cent nickels in the United States of America. United States. In this video, we'll reveal the top 4 rare Jefferson nickels, their current market values, and the era coins in special conditions that make them extremely collectible, including rare silver war nickels, unusual color shades, and striking mint mistakes. These rare treasures are more than just pieces of American history. They are also some of the most valuable coins collectors and investors are hunting for today. So if you're a coin enthusiast or someone who appreciates the beauty and significance of U.S. currency, this video is made just for you. Let's get started with our first rare Jefferson nickel. Sparkles. The 1943 P. Jefferson nickel occupies a place in American history unlike any other 5-cent coin ever created. Born in the middle of World War II, this special nickel was not made from the usual alloy of copper and nickel. Instead, it emerged from a powerful national decision, one that transformed everyday money into a silent soldier of the war effort. During this era, the country desperately needed nickel metal to build armor, weapons, submarine parts, and communication equipment. And so, in 1943, the U.S. Mint introduced a coin that defied tradition and sparkled with mystery. The silver-based wartime Jefferson nickel. This extraordinary coin from Philadelphia, marked with the bold P mint mark above Monticello on the reverse, signaled a major historical milestone. For the first time ever, the Philadelphia Mint placed its P mint mark on a circulating U.S. coin. Before this moment, Philadelphia coins always carried no mint mark, as if trying to remain invisible. But during wartime, everything changed. The government wanted people to recognize the new alloy instantly, so they proudly stamped the large P above the dome. This change was more than a mint mark. It was a symbol of unity and sacrifice. The metal composition of the 1943 P. Jefferson nickel added yet another touch of wonder. Instead of nickel, these coins contained a blend of 35% silver, combined with copper and manganese. This unexpected formula gave the coins a unique appearance and a magnetic charm that collectors still chase today. Some of them aged into soft gray tones, while others developed dramatic rainbow colors from years of natural oxidation. Every piece carries a personality shaped by time itself. The story of the 1943 P nickel moves even deeper when we explore the heart of wartime America. Factories thundered day and night, soldiers sailed across oceans, and families saved every scrap of metal they could find. The government changed coin metal to protect the nation's resources, and these nickels became powerful reminders of the home front struggle. Every person who held one in 1943 held a piece of the country's resilience. When you hold one now, you hold a pulse of history. Because of their silver content, many 1943 P nickels were melted down after the war. People didn't realize they were rare. They didn't understand that the wartime alloy would someday make them legendary. Huge numbers were lost, destroyed, or simply worn down by decades of circulation. This disappearance gave rise to the modern belief that among the remaining few, some hold unimaginable value. Pieces so pristine, so flawless, or struck with such unusual errors that they could change a person's fortune overnight. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1943 P nickel is the secret world of mint errors that slip past the coin presses. Some were struck off-center, giving them an eerie ghost-like shape. Others were struck on the wrong metal planchet, causing them to shimmer differently from any ordinary nickel. A few have doubled letters, missing steps in Monticello, weak strikes, or dramatic die cracks. These rare creatures of the minting world turn an ordinary wartime coin into a breathtaking treasure worth thousands. Collectors around the world have spent years searching for the perfect specimen. A 1943 P nickel with full, sharp steps on Monticello. These full steps coins are among the holy grails of Jefferson nickel collecting. The wartime alloy was notoriously difficult to strike sharply, making these full detail examples exceptionally scarce. When one in pristine condition appears, bidding wars ignite, and prices climb into astonishing heights. Some of them have sold for sums so dramatic that they turn the humble nickel into a symbol of incredible wealth. Yet even without errors or ultra-high grades, the 1943 P nickel carries a richness no other coin can match. Its silver composition gives it a natural appeal to investors and historians. Its wartime origin gives it emotional depth. Its massive mint mark makes it instantly recognizable. And its story, the story of a nation fighting for survival, makes it unforgettable. No collector's journey is complete without this shining wartime masterpiece. The artistry of the coin plays its own important role. Jefferson's portrait on the obverse appears strong and steady, as though he is watching over the nation during its darkest hours. Monticello on the reverse stands quietly under a wartime sky, symbolizing endurance and stability. Even those who know nothing about coins can feel the weight of history when they see this design. It whispers of sacrifice, determination, and a nation's unbreakable spirit. Some collectors believe that the 1943 P nickel contains a kind of destiny, a hidden potential waiting to reveal itself. Because the coin is both common and rare at the same time, everyday people often find them unexpectedly. And when they do, they begin to dream. What if this is the special one? What if this is the piece with the error no one has noticed yet? What if this small silver coin holds the power to transform their life forever? This possibility is what keeps the legend alive. Its value is not just in its metal or rarity. It is in its story. The 1943 P nickel tells a tale of courage during wartime, innovation in coinage, and the desire of a nation to protect its future. It stands as proof that even the smallest objects carry the greatest meaning. It reminds us that treasure is not always golden. It shines in many forms, including the soft glow of wartime silver. Over decades, collectors have chased the 1943 P nickel in its finest condition. Grading companies have crowned a few with top-tier honors, and these coins have become icons in auction catalogs. They are the superstars of the Jefferson series, drawing the attention of investors who understand that history and rarity together create unstoppable value. A flawless wartime nickel is a masterpiece of time. But beyond markets and auctions, the 1943 P nickel holds emotional power. It connects the present to the past with a single touch. It carries a story of families who sacrificed, soldiers who fought, and mint workers who transformed metal into meaning. It stands as a reminder that America did not simply survive the war. It reinvented itself through courage and unity. For those fortunate enough to possess this coin, the message is clear. Do not underestimate what you hold. The 1943 P nickel is more than currency. It is a doorway to history, a symbol of resilience, and in the world of collectors, a potential fortune waiting to be discovered. Some of these coins hide extraordinary errors worth thousands. Some exist in breathtaking condition worth life-changing sums. And among millions of ordinary pieces, the rarest of them all might still be out there, quietly waiting to change someone's destiny. In the end, the 1943 P Jefferson nickel is not merely a coin. It is a legend forged from silver and wartime sacrifice. It is a fragment of American history preserved in metal. And for those who truly understand its story, it is a treasure that shines with the promise of fortune, mystery, and legacy. Next up, the most valuable and expensive 1944 P Jefferson nickel. The story of the 1944 P Jefferson nickel begins in a moment when the world was trembling under the weight of World War II. America needed nickel metal desperately for armor, weapons, tanks, and aircraft, so the U.S. Mint made a surprising and historic decision. It replaced the metal in the 5-cent coin. This emergency action created one of the most unforgettable chapters in coinage history, and the 1944 P nickel stands at the center of it like a glowing witness of a world in conflict. Instead of nickel, the Mint chose an unusual combination: silver, manganese, and copper, a mix that looked humble but carried a wartime heartbeat. When the very first 1944 P Jefferson nickels rolled out of the Philadelphia Mint, they were not just coins, they were miniature time capsules. Every piece carried the story of a nation fighting for survival, a world spinning in chaos, and a generation learning the price of freedom. What makes the 1944 P nickel so captivating is not only its silver content but the bold, oversized P mint mark placed above Monticello. It was the first time in U.S. history that the Philadelphia Mint used a mint mark. That makes the 1944 P nickel more than just currency. It's a historic signature, a one-year shout from the past saying, "I was born in a war." Collectors today look at these coins with a mix of awe and imagination. Even though millions were minted, not all survived with dignity. Many were spent, scraped through pockets, lost in fields, or swallowed by time. The pieces that remain in sharp, crisp condition, bright silver, strong details untouched by circulation, are the ones that move the collector's heart and auction prices alike. There are stories whispered in the coin market about particular 1944p nickels that sold for breathtaking amounts. Although not every coin becomes a treasure, the rarest high-grade pieces with perfect luster have the power to shock even experienced collectors. These are the coins that can turn a quiet day into a life-changing one if discovered unexpectedly in an old drawer, jar, or inherited box of keepsakes. Every time someone finds a 1944p nickel in brilliant condition, they are holding something more valuable than metal. They're holding a frozen moment from a wartime minting floor. Imagine the sparks flying as the silver blanks were fed into heavy presses. Imagine workers focused, knowing their labor supported the war effort. Those coins became part of America's homefront spirit, circulating through the hands of soldiers' families, factory workers, and ordinary citizens doing what they could to help. Even more exciting, some 1944p nickels contain unusual striking quirks: die cracks, double strikes, over-polished dies, and dramatic errors. These rare mistakes raise prices dramatically because collectors crave uniqueness. A single dramatic error can turn a simple wartime nickel into a dazzling prize worth many thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, depending on rarity and condition. The silver composition itself adds to the magic. Unlike ordinary nickels, these wartime issues develop a glowing patina over decades. Some turn champagne gold, others lavender, blue, or smoky gray. This natural aging sometimes makes the coin look like a small piece of art. When such toning appears on a sharply struck 1944p nickel, its desirability multiplies in the eyes of collectors. The story of the Jefferson nickel design cannot be forgotten. Felix Schlag, the designer, created a portrait of Thomas Jefferson that has become one of the most familiar faces in American numismatics. His Monticello design, resting calmly on the reverse, symbolizes stability during turbulent times. But on the 1944p war nickel, this peaceful scene hides a fierce historical truth. Behind its calm demeanor stands a nation fighting the largest war in human history. Today, when collectors talk about valuable coins, the 1944p nickel often appears in legends. Stories of a coin found in a junk drawer that funded a dream vacation, or a piece discovered in a forgotten storage box that paid for college tuition. These stories continue because the coin carries an aura of possibility. It is a reminder that not all treasures come from gold mines. Some come from loose change. The power of this coin lies not just in its market value but in its symbolism. It reminds people that even everyday objects can become extraordinary when history touches them. Every scratch, every shine, every surviving detail tells a tale of endurance. The fact that this piece of wartime silver still exists, shining across generations, speaks to the resilience of both the coin and the country. For those who dream big, the 1944p nickel is more than a collectible. It is a symbol of unexpected fortune. When someone imagines finding the right one, the perfect piece, the high-grade survivor worth thousands, their heart races. And why not? Luck has no schedule. Historical coins have surprised people before and will continue to surprise them as long as they keep appearing in the world. The coin market does not just value money. It values stories, rarity, and emotion. The 1944p is a perfect storm of these ingredients. Wartime history, unusual metal, mint mark rarity, artistic design, and the ever-present possibility of discovery. That is why collectors guard their 1944p pieces with pride and why they refuse to spend them. They know their worth reaches far beyond the number stamped on the coin. In a world where fortunes rise and fall overnight, the 1944p Jefferson nickel stands like a quiet guardian of possibility. Its value comes from rarity, beauty, and the power of history captured in silver. And if you hold the right one, sharp, untouched, displaying mint brilliance, you might be holding a coin that could truly change your life in a single moment. And that is the legendary tale of the 1944p wartime silver nickel. A small disc of metal with the spirit of an era, the strength of a nation, and the potential to turn an ordinary day into an extraordinary fortune. Next up,
the most valuable and expensive 1996. D. Jefferson Nickel, the story of the 1996. D. Jefferson Nickel is a tale that rises quietly from the shadow of ordinary circulation and transforms into a legend of hidden fortune. While millions of nickels left the Denver Mint that year, Only a rare handful emerge with qualities so exceptional, so flawless, and so perfectly preserved that they captured the imagination of collectors across the nation. The 1996 D nickel, though young compared to wartime issues, carries a charm of its own, a charm that lies not in age but in condition, rarity, and the unexpected errors that slip past the minting machines like whispers of destiny. The mid-1990s was a moment of stability in America. The economy was booming, technology was accelerating, and the U.S. Mint was running at full speed to supply the country's demand for circulating coins. Because metals were inexpensive and abundant, these nickels were not made from silver like wartime pieces, but from the traditional copper-nickel blend. Yet some collectors speak as of a few exceptional 1996 D pieces shine like silver, not because they contain it, but because the bright strikes, untouched surfaces, and razor-sharp details give them an appearance almost like a pure metal sculpture. When the 1996 D. Jefferson nickel first rolled off the presses in Denver, its purpose seemed simple: serve the people, pass from hand to hand, and disappear into pockets, cash registers, and laundry machines. But fate had other plans for a small number of them. Some were struck with extraordinary pressure, producing deep, crisp details. Others landed between perfectly polished dies, giving them an almost mirror-like glow. And a few, the rarest of all, were blessed with errors, dramatic misstrikes, doubled images, or off-center designs that turned them from coins into masterpieces of accidental art. Collectors soon learned that the 1996 D nickel is not valuable because of metal content, but because of grade, the sacred measure of condition. Only a microscopic percentage of these coins survive without scratches, bag marks, or dulling from circulation. The mint created millions, but time and handling destroyed the majority. That is why a truly flawless example commands extraordinary attention. It stands out like a diamond hidden in gravel. Some find their way into sealed mint sets, protected for decades, untouched by human hands. These pieces sometimes explode at auction, where bidders chase perfection with feverish intensity. A top-grade 1996 D nickel can spark fierce competition, raising the price to levels that surprise even seasoned numismatists. And that is where stories of life-changing find begin, because discovering such a coin in ordinary change or an old coin jar feels like uncovering a secret door to sudden fortune. The beauty of the 1996 D nickel lies in its simplicity. Jefferson's profile stands calm and dignified, reflecting both tradition and the steady march of American history. Monticello glows on the reverse, a symbol of architectural precision, enlightenment, and national heritage. But when struck perfectly, these familiar images come alive. Jefferson's hair shows every strand. The steps of Monticello sharpen like real stone, and the fields glisten like they were carved yesterday. Collectors love to imagine how a flawless 1996 D survived. Perhaps it was tucked away in a bankroll the moment it came out. Perhaps it fell into the hands of someone who sensed its unusual shine and saved it instinctively. Or perhaps, by pure luck, it slipped into a mint set that shielded it from the world's wear. Whatever the path, its survival becomes part of the coin's mystique. Error varieties, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and double dies add even more magic to this year. These errors are unintentional accidents: a misaligned die, a blank metal strip cut incorrectly, or a momentary vibration during striking. But in the collector's world, these accidents become miracles. A dramatic error transforms a 1996 D nickel from common to legendary, feeding the belief that treasure still hides in everyday places. The coin market's fascination with modern rarities grows stronger every year. Younger collectors, especially, love the challenge of finding perfect condition recent coins because they are far rarer than people assume. Anyone can find an old nickel, but finding a flawless 1996 D? That is a mission few accomplish. This modern difficulty fuels high prices, excitement, and stories of extraordinary discoveries. What gives a 1996 D nickel its emotional power is the idea that a simple 5-cent coin can hold potential to change someone's destiny. Maybe not because of silver, maybe not because of antique age, but because perfection is rare and rarity commands value. That sense of possibility keeps people searching through rolls, examining jars, and inspecting pocket change under bright lights with quiet hope. Each time a new high-grade example enters the market, collectors pause. They analyze its surfaces, study its strike, admire its luster. They know that coins like this are not supposed to exist in circulation. They are survivors, rebels against time, and that rebellious survival is what makes their value rise like a hidden spring ready to burst. The heart of this story is this. The 1996 D nickel is a reminder that value can come from the unlikeliest places. It teaches that fortune does not always shine from ancient gold or huge treasure chests. Sometimes it hides in small, ordinary coins that carry extraordinary preservation. Sometimes a billionaire-level moment comes from something as simple as looking closely at what others overlook. In the end, the 1996 D. Jefferson nickel represents a new kind of treasure, modern, youthful, subtle, yet powerful. Its worth is not rooted in age or silver, but in survival, beauty, rarity, and that electrifying thrill of discovery. It is the coin that whispers, "Be alert, fortune walks quietly." And for those lucky enough to find a perfect one, that whisper becomes a roar. And so the legend of the 1996 D nickel lives on, small, shining, and full of promise, ready to change the life of the next person who recognizes its hidden brilliance. Next up, the most valuable and expensive 1992 D. Jefferson. Anything of the tale of the 1992 D. Jefferson nickel begins in a decade when America was transforming. The early 1990s brought new technologies, rising optimism, and a U.S. mint working relentlessly to meet the nation's demand for coins. Among the millions of nickels struck in Denver in 1992, a mysterious handful would later rise far above the rest, gaining reputations as hidden treasures of modern numismatics. Though these nickels were made from the familiar copper-nickel blend, collectors sometimes describe the finest ones as shining like silver, a reflection of their unusually bright luster, not their metal. At the Denver Mint, machines thundered day and night, each strike sending Jefferson's profile into history once more. But what nobody knew then was that a tiny percentage of these 1992 D nickels would merge with an uncanny sharpness. Crisp details, dazzling surfaces, and a glowing finish that seemed too perfect for ordinary circulation. These were the survivors destined to become legends. And like all legends, they began quietly, unnoticed among countless thousands. Most of 1992, D nickels lived short, rough lives. They crashed through metal bins, clashed in bankers' bags, fell into pockets, scraped against keys and coins, and aged before they had time to shine. But a precious few escaped this harsh reality. Some rolled gently into untouched mint sets. Some are packed in fresh rolls that remained sealed for decades. And some simply landed in the hands of people who sensed their brilliance and kept them safe. These rare survivors became the impossible beauties of the 1992 D series. Although the coin contains no real silver, a perfectly preserved 1992 D nickel can reflect light with such intensity that collectors swear it gleams like a newly polished bullion piece. The texture becomes silky, the fields glow. Jefferson's cheekbone, collar, and hair show details normally hidden to the naked eye. And Monticello on the reverse, its column straight, its steps sharp, its dome perfectly rounded, seemed to lift off the coin like a miniature sculpture. Auction houses discovered something shocking. When in 1992 D nickel appears in top, flawless grade, bidders erupt in competition. Modern coins are not supposed to be rare in high condition. Yet the 1992 D breaks that rule. When a rare, perfect example hits the market, collectors scramble, driving its price far beyond expectation. That is where stories of life-changing finds begin, because the idea of discovering a fortune in a simple 5-cent coin feels like a spark of destiny. Mistakes at the Denver Mint in 1992 created an even more mysterious category of treasure, the error nickels. A misaligned strike, a doubled image, a clipped planchet, or a die crack could transform an ordinary nickel into a collectible masterpiece. These errors are accidents, yet they carry enormous value. They are the unpredictable miracles of coinage, moments when machinery falters but beauty appears. Imagine finding a 1992 D nickel struck completely off-center, or one missing a portion of its rim, or one with double lettering that gives Jefferson's motto an echoing shadow. Such coins are not only rare, they are thrilling. They tell the story of a chaotic, fast-moving minting process where perfection and disaster coexist. And collectors adore them because they are truly one of a kind. But the greatest treasure of all is the perfectly graded 1992 D, the nickel that somehow escaped every bump, scrape, and scratch. A coin like that feels unreal, as if time stepped aside and allowed it to survive untouched for decades. These are the coins that inspire feverish bidding wars, because they represent something almost impossible: perfection in a world built on wear and tear. The emotional power of the 1992 D nickel lies in its paradox. It is modern, yet rare, common, yet extraordinary, worth 5 cents in theory, yet capable of reaching astonishing values when condition meets desire. It teaches collectors that fortune does not always hide in ancient gold or century-old silver. Sometimes it hides in the quiet corners of modern history. Coins struck not long ago, but saved by accident or protected by fate. Collectors often imagine the origin of these flawless survivors. Was it a mint employee who noticed something special and tucked one away? Was it sealed in a plastic mint set the moment it was born? Or did someone simply save it because it looked shiny, unaware that their small decision would preserve a future treasure? The mystery adds romance to the coin's history. As more people search through bankrolls, coin jars, and inherited collections, the legend of the 1992 D nickel continues to grow. Every new discovery, an error, a high-grade example, a brilliant uncirculated piece, feeds the excitement. It whispers a possibility that wealth could be hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right eyes to recognize it. What makes this coin unforgettable is not its metal composition or ancient age. It is the idea that a coin from recent history can still transform someone's destiny, that a small, humble nickel could hold the power to change a life overnight, that even in a modern world, miracles of rarity continue to exist. The 1992 D. Jefferson nickel stands today as a symbol of modern treasure hunting. It reminds us that opportunity is everywhere, even in the most ordinary moments. It teaches that value is not always obvious, that beauty can hide in everyday objects, and that fortune often favors the ones who look closely. And so the story of the 1992 D. nickel becomes a story of hope, shining, powerful, and electrifying. Whether found in a dusty drawer, a forgotten roll, or a handful of change, it carries the same message. Treasure still lives among the ordinary. In the end, the 1992 D. Jefferson nickel is more than a coin. It is a symbol of discovery, a testament to rarity, and a reminder that destiny sometimes appears in the smallest form. A 5-cent piece that glows like silver and holds the potential to rewrite someone's future forever. 1992 P. 1993 D. 1994. Any other nickel, just tell me. I'll craft it for you.